Moving on now, the United States is planning to pay $725 million towards its debt to the United Nations, a move that could provide some much-needed breathing room to an organization facing a severe cash crunch. But here's the bigger picture. The US still owes the UN several billion dollars. The UN says Washington is behind by more than $4 billion, while latest reporting puts the overall figure at around $5 billion, including regular UN operations and peacekeeping. The United States is the UN's biggest financial contributor, but it has fallen billions of dollars behind on its assessed contributions. The latest figures put the US debt at roughly $5 billion. Of that, about $2 billion is owed towards the UN regular budget, the money that keeps the organization's core operations running. Another roughly $3 billion is owed for peacekeeping operations around the world. The UN's own May breakdown was slightly lower, $2.4 billion for the regular budget, $2.2 billion for peacekeeping, and $44 million for UN tribunals, totaling more than $4.28 billion. Washington disputes the UN's overall calculation and says the amount it actually owes is lower. Well, now the Trump administration plans to transfer $725 million towards the regular UN budget. And there is another $125 million embarked for peacekeeping in Haiti and the Democratic Republic of Congo, taking the broader announced package to $850 million. But this is not a bailout. Even if the full $850 million is paid, well, billions would still remain outstanding. So why does $725 million matter here? Because the UN's immediate problem is cash, not just its accounting balance. The organization entered 2026 with no cash reserves, and unpaid contributions from member states have created a serious liquidity crisis. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned of imminent financial collapse. A large payment from Washington can therefore help the UN pay staff salaries, keep core operations running, and avoid or delay even deeper spending cuts. One UN finance expert described the effect as essentially keeping the organization afloat a little longer. But the UN is already cutting back. Its 2026 budget has been reduced by 9.2%, and more than 2,000 jobs have been moved away from expensive cities such as New York and Geneva as part of its UNAT reform and cost-cutting drive. The proposed US payment would provide critical short-term cash and would also help the UN avoid more immediate disruption. But with billions still in outstanding and other member states also behind on their payments, well, it does not solve the UN's financial crisis. But for the UN, it is not simply how much money it owed, but how quickly that money actually reaches its account. It is that question which is the important part of the UN crisis.